Shivani, welcome to Broad Punjabi and Pakar News. How are you?
Yes, thank you for having me, Romel.
How would you sum up your 18 months as a Leicester East MP?
Wow, it has been a very steep learning curve, both professionally and personally. And I'm just trying to do my best every single day and taking each day as it comes.
How do you engage with Leicester East residents to hear their concern?
So this, I think, comes quite naturally to me, actually, because I grew up in Leicester East. I have a strong community presence here. I shop in the local shops. I go to the local places of worship. I work with the local businesses here. So engaging with them actually doesn't take that much effort. It's something that I do on a day-to-day basis, and I was doing on a day-to-day basis before I became a Member of Parliament.
What has been your biggest challenge in Leicester East so far?
At the moment, I think for a long time, the people of Leicester East just haven't had their voice heard. And a lot of them have been disengaged from politics for that very reason. We were under a kind of a Labour administration for so many decades. And there was a very cosy relationship going on in Leicester, which meant that there was no real opposition. So no real person to actually talk against the system or talk against whatever the council was deciding that was in the best interest of the city. So for the first time in a really long time, there is someone in Leicester, myself, who can stand up for the people and actually voice the concerns that the people have.
What impact you have made since you're a Member of Parliament, especially for Leicester East?
Well, yeah, for the first time, I think Leicester does have a voice. I'm able to stand up in the chamber and call out the council where I feel that they are misleading the public or not doing a very good job. So that actually can make a really big difference. We've helped over 8,000 constituents already in Leicester East with issues or concerns that they have, whether it be with immigration, with housing, with business rates, a variety of problems and issues land on my desk. So being able to help that many people is actually, something that I'm really proud of. Yeah, so housing is one of the things that lands regularly on my desk. We have, families of 4 people living in a 1-bedroom flat with, 2 adults, 2 kids, which is just, you can't imagine someone living in those conditions. So I'm able to work with the local authorities to make sure that they are housed in a place that is appropriate for them and for their family. So that's something where I can make a real difference. And I'm really proud that I'm helping families like that. So this is something that I've been working on for a long time, and it's not just a Leicester East issue. I think it is very much a countrywide issue. And if we actually look at the figures, then Leicester still remains as one of the places where we have the least waiting times compared to the rest of the country. So I know it's tough in Leicester at the moment, but it's much tougher elsewhere as well. I regularly engage with the directors at the University Hospitals of Leicester Trust to see ways we can really improve the experience for so many people. We had, under the Conservatives, they introduced Pharmacy First program, which means that, you can now go to your pharmacist to get regular antibiotics for ear infections or any, kind of viral infections, etc. And that was designed to ease off the load on the NHS hospital staff. Saying that, I think the bigger part is that we need to try and educate people and change some of the behaviors. Before, if you have had an infection, the first place you'd want to do is call your GP and visit the doctor. But now there are so many other channels where you can receive help without going to the GP. And we need to kind of change that behavior that some people still have, and try and encourage them and, educate them that there are other places where you can receive help. And that will hopefully ease the load off the GPs and reduce some of the waiting lists that we're all struggling with. So again, I think it is just raising awareness. There are different channels where people can go to seek help. It doesn't need to be just your GP. And I know for a really long time, the GP was the only person that could prescribe you certain medications. But now that's not the case. If you're struggling with mental health, there's a special and separate channel for that. So I think, again, it's just raising awareness and educating people that, GP is now no longer the only place you can go to seek help.
What sort of support you have given especially to the local businesses so far?
So I think, first of all, it's really important to recognize the optimism that businesses have and entrepreneurs have, and we need that entrepreneurial spirit to keep our local economy alive. So the fact that these entrepreneurs and businesses are taking risks, I think I really respect them for that, and I've got to give it to them. And yes, the fact that businesses are closing is a real challenge, and the government needs to address it. I'm not sure how many businesses the government is actually engaging with, because every single business I speak to, they tell me the same message, and that is really hard for them. In Labour's budget that we've just seen earlier this year, they've actually cut the threshold for business rates, making it even harder for businesses. They introduced the jobs tax last year, again, making it even more difficult for small businesses. I mean, it's no wonder that we have 1 in 8 small businesses who are planning to relocate. And these are the people that we should be empowering, not driving them away. They make up 99% of the total business economy in our country. They contribute 2/3 to the UK's GDP. These are the people that we should be championing and supporting, and they deserve our support. That's something that can help. But instead of the funding, I think we need to push the government to reduce the business rates for hospitality sector. They need to reverse the increase in national insurance contributions, and they need to make changes to the Employment Rights Bill to allow these businesses in the hospitality sector to easily hire more employees, especially during the festive period, and make it easier for them to simply sustain and survive.
Could you share your proud moment so far as a member of parliament?
Oh, my most proud moment. I think it's actually the record number of constituents that I've been able to help. I visit, I may stand up in Westminster and, attend lots of meetings and stuff like that. But what really, really makes me happy is seeing the number of people that I get to help every single day. Helping over 8,000 people, Romel, in 18 months. That's something that I'm really proud of myself, and I have a fantastic team that I work with, and I couldn't be more prouder of them. And I really hoped, and I really kind of want to keep it that way. And I'm just loving it, especially right now. I'm on maternity leave, so I don't have to travel to London as much. And I'm just loving every single minute that I get to spend here in the constituency. And I live in Leicester, right? So Leicester is my home, and there's no place like home.
How you balance your personal and political life?
It is. And, being a first-time mom is also quite demanding. So at the moment, I am juggling a lot on my plate right now. But I think I kind of knew that going into politics. I always knew it's never going to be a 9-to-5 job. I always knew that I'm never going to be able to have weekends to myself again, which is why it's really important that you enjoy what you do. Because for me, going out to meet communities on a weekend really does bring me joy. I take my baby with me wherever I can as well. So it's fantastic that he gets to develop and see, be in new environments, see new surroundings, and learn along on the way as well with me.
What's your goal for the next 18 months?
Oh, that's a big one. Well, they say 24 hours is a long time in politics, Ramel. So 18 months is a long way ahead to think about. But I think over the next couple of months, I just want to try and spend as much time as I can out in Leicester speaking to businesses and trying to really understand how I can help them continue standing up for my constituents in Leicester and in Parliament, and trying to give my best to the communities that, essentially raised me.
What advice you have, especially for young female who are thinking of going into politics?
I think we absolutely do need more female voices in politics. Saying that, at the moment, we have a record number of female MPs in Parliament, which is something I'm really proud of. But what I have seen is that the kind of perspectives and the different viewpoints that a woman can bring into politics is really invaluable. And the more of us that there are, the better. And, that way we can ensure that any bills and laws that are being passed are actually reflective and represent us.
Shivani, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.